The arena was filled with people. Screams and hoots were heard as they yelled his name in sync. John Jungkook. John Jungkook. It kept going as he rotated his neck and touched the locket hanging down his neck. His lucky charm. The only thing left with him by the woman he loved once, still loved, the woman who one day disappeared in air and was never found again. He searched for her everywhere, but no trace of her was found. He ignored the audience and waited for his next opponent as the one who just fought him was unconscious. A few men were taking him out. Another man jumped in, as confident as ever, like any of his other opponent before they are called out half dead on the ground. Jungkook had a reputation. They called him Alpha. He could crush a skull with his bare hands. He stood all calm, watching his opponent. The game was about to start when a bullet pierced through the air. A loud, very loud sound of the bullet silenced the whole crowd. Everyone looked around confused, curious, including him. Then they heard a commanding voice of a woman. Everyone out except for Alpha, unless you want the next bullet to land deep down your skull. No one could tell who the owner of the voice was. No one knew when the next bullet was coming. So panic spread. They screamed, rushed, and ran away, emptying the entire space. Jungkook calmly watched his opponent running off too, like a coward. Within next 2 minutes, the whole area was empty. Not a single soul except for him and the mysterious woman probably, still hiding in the shadows. He heard heels clicking against the ground. A dark aura, creeps ran down his spine, and he was high on guard. Then the woman came out in his sight. He squinted his eyes, taking in her appearance. Dark black hair tied in a ponytail, a black leather jacket, and a gun lazily hanging down her hand. Yet, something about her was so familiar. His heart had started beating faster, and his eyes had gone soft. Wyan, he whispered under his breath. She had to be her. His heart wouldn't lie to him. She climbed inside the ring over the ropes and stood before him. She grabbed the locket around his neck and closed her eyes. Wyan, I found you. Jungkook removed boxing gloves immediately and pulled her to him and looked up and down completely. Jungkook, it's you. You're my Wyan. Where the hell were you? He pulled her into a tight hug. Wyan closed her eyes. He was sweating, but hell, who cared when they found each other after 10 years of separation? They stayed like that for a long, long time. It felt like a dream where he finds her and she disappears again. He feared it might happen again. Then they pulled away. Jungkook took in her appearance again. The gun in her hand, the outfit, the confidence in her body, and the dark eyes. She changed a lot. The wine he knew was a cheerful ball of sunshine. She was not the same anymore. Jungkook, I looked for you everywhere. Why would you disappear like that? Vine only smiled and brushed fingers through his hair. Maybe she was afraid too, that it was a dream. Vine, let's go home. I'll tell you everything. He sighed and nodded. Vine, also, makes me wonder if you men can't fight with a shirt on. Jungkook smirked, grabbing his shirt and put it on. Jungkook, are you getting possessive already? She rolled her eyes, getting out of the ring, and Jungkook followed. He slid his hands into his pockets and followed her to an exotic car. For as far as he remembers, Vine and him lived in a poor neighborhood. That's how they found each other, going to same school and growing up together. They were the same age, same class, same bench. When they turned 15, one night he visited her like every birthday. He would sneak in her room and celebrate it with her. Their love was pure, the teenage love full of expectations and hopes for future. He sneaked in her room and didn't find her. The room was empty. The home was empty. No one returned to that home. He found out the owner had sold the home, and soon enough a new family shifted in that place. He grew up and looked for her on her favorite places and places she wanted to visit. He even reported in police, wondering if she was perhaps kidnapped or hurt, but never found anything about her. Seeing such an expensive car in front of him, he realized there were a lot of things he needed to know. The two got inside, and Vine drove off with such amazing skills. Vine, how have you been doing? Jungkook, me? Well, still the same neighborhood. Paid off the hill-sized debt Dad left on us. Mom is sick. Jungkook, the money I'll earn from here goes to her medication and Tina's education. I couldn't finish my studies, dropped out of school for not paying fee, and now I can't get a proper job without a degree up my sleeve. It's messed up. Ryan, but you did some good work on your body. You can use it for better. Jungkook, applied for a job in security. Let's see if that works. These rich people don't need protection only, but someone who looks good, educated, while protecting them. Ryan, we never understood the riches, huh? She smiled. Jungkook, aren't you one of them now? Ryan, turns out I was always one. I just didn't know. She sighed and Jungkook looked ahead. They entered some kind of underground parking. She drove straight towards a wall which opened up like a secret place. Inside was a huge place. A huge mansion in front of his eyes, greenery spread everywhere, a huge pool in front taking a lot of space. It was luxurious and exotic, hidden from the whole world. No wonder he was never able to find her. Vine took his hand when he looked lost and gave him a soft smile. He then took her inside, and they both were met by an elder lady he never saw before. Vine, this is Martha. She takes care of the home. Martha smiled at them. She seemed like a nice lady and welcomed Jungkook like a mother would welcome their son. Wine took him inside as they both took a seat on the couch. Wine, I know. You must be very confused right now. You must have a lot of questions. A lot of things are different, but Jungkook, no matter what I tell you, know that my love for you never changed. I still love you so much, more than I did before. Jungkook placed his arms on his knees. Being a fighter, he had a huge body and muscles, taking up a lot of space. Jungkook, I'm so used to the old memories. This all is so new, but nothing about it will change my feelings for you. So, whatever it is, say it. Wine. Thank you, Martha. She took the coffee cups, giving one to Jungkook, and the elder lady left. Wine. Have your coffee? She smiled and Jungkook nodded. Jungkook. Wine. Are you still my princess? Who promised to be my queen one day? Wine held the locket hanging down his neck and kissed him. Jungkook immediately wrapped his arm around her waist and kissed her back. He placed the coffee cup aside and pulled her on his lap. The little girl he loved to the woman he found after so many years. His love only grew more for her. Jungkook pulled onto her hair and pulled back, breathing heavily. Vine cupped his cheeks and looked into his eyes. The Mafia queen the underworld knew, the cold and merciless woman who was soft only for this man she loved so much. Vine, I love you, Jungkook. I still love you so much. I'll always find my way back to you. Jungkook kissed her neck and saw a scar that was going down her neck and disappearing into her shirt. He moved her shirt aside a little to see it properly. He wondered how much had changed and how she got those scars. Jungkook, how many of them do you have now? He asked in a low voice. He didn't like it. It burned his blood seeing the woman he loved in pain. He wanted to kill everyone who dared to hurt her. Wine, many. You'll be the one to kiss them. Will you do that? Jungkook, I'll take your pain away. I'll kiss your scars, and I'll send everyone to grave who was the reason behind all of your pain. Wine, I killed them with my own hands. Jungkook looked in her eyes. The innocent little girl he knew could never do that. But this woman in his lap had no remorse murdering people, and somehow he was supporting her without knowing the reason. Jungkook, they must have deserved it. I would do the same. Wine smiled. Wine, you're the same. The one who supported me no matter what I did. She rested her head against his chest and Jungkook brushed fingers through her hair. Jungkook, I'll still do it. Forever. You can tell me everything. The next thing that left her mouth froze Jungkook on the spot. His heart skipped a beat, and the color drained out of his face. Wine. They killed my mother, right in front of my eyes. To be continued.